Chris Stevens.
Madam Deputy Speaker, it's a pleasure to follow my good friend, the Chair of the Work and Pensions Select Committee. It's a pleasure to be a member of that committee and holding the government to account. I will, of course, Madam Deputy Speaker, be referring to my register of members' interests, in particular my role as Chair of the PCS Parliamentary Group, as I will have some things to say around the office closures issue. But I do want to start with the Secretary of State's appearance at the Work and Pensions Select Committee last week, in which she had indicated that on Thursday last week she was going to be meeting her officials to discuss a remedial order, or the second remedial order, in relation to bereavement support payments for cohabiting couples. This is a very important issue. We've had many great campaigners, including the Glasgow South West constituent, Ailsa Mackenzie, who's been at the vanguard of pushing this issue. So I hope the Minister will be able to perhaps give the House an update on that, because it affects many thousands of people, and I think that the quicker we can get that remedial order laid down, and then people can start receiving these bereavement support payments, and that would no doubt help them deal with the cost of living crisis. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to touch on what I think comes to the heart of some of the issues around the problems that we see in the Department of Work and Pensions, and that is the start of the very claim and the 5-week wait, and then the deductions that come with that. Because the Minister, who's in his place, responded to a written question laid down by myself, and I have to say I think the figures are becoming increasingly alarming. And ever since I have periodically tabled these questions, the number of deductions and the amount being deducted is increasing over the last 18 months. And it's now a total of 11 million a month that's been taken off of claimants as a result of deductions. It's my view, Madam Deputy Speaker, that that has become a poverty tax. And the figures, for example, in Scotland show that in February this year, 189,000 households in Scotland, that's an increase of 9,000 in just 3 months, have an average of £60 deducted from their social security payments. That's mainly to pay back the loans issued by the Department to cover the 5-week wait at the beginning of a new claim. But some of them are indeed overpayments, which includes the Department's errors. And I hope that the Department will look at this very issue, because there's already case law when it comes to pay, for example. If there is a mistake in law in terms of someone's pay and they've been overpaid, the employer can't take that back. So I would suggest if the Department has made a genuine error, that they should not be deducting claimants from future claims if the error is indeed down to departmental error. And I hope the government will look at that, because a number of organisations have now raised this issue, that where the Department of Work and Pensions is to blame, that there should not be a deduction taking place in that. Now, I'll give way to my honourable friend.
On that point, I wonder if your assurance that we've had that the top-up payments that are being made, as announced by the Chancellor and as debated last week, that we may end up in the same situation. If DWP accidentally give that money to someone, DWP might then try and claw it back, putting people in an even worse state of poverty than they are already.
Yeah, I thank my honourable friend for that, and I also would share that particular concern, and I hope that perhaps the Department will respond positively to the concerns that honourable members have raised, including my good friend from Aberdeen North. I think I've got that right, Aberdeen North, thank you. So we have the issue where there's a departmental error, and taking £60 a month from people who are requiring state support can be the difference, Madam Deputy Speaker, between them buying food or not, or whether to heat their homes or not. And I sometimes I'm a bit concerned about the phrase heat or eat, because I now think, Madam Deputy Speaker, that we are now in a situation where some people will not be able to do either. They will not be able to heat their homes or eat, and I think that that is the desperate situation that far too many across these islands face, particularly with the cost of living that is so high. Now, the department appear, I would suggest, in relation to these one-off payments, have conceded the point that grants are better than loans. Now, I welcome that, but I hope that they will now look seriously at the Department of Work and Pension Select Committee report around the 5-week wait and have a non-repayable grant, or a starter payment as we called it, within 2 weeks of the claim. And I think that that would stop people going into debt as a result of the deductions. And I would suggest they would perhaps save some money in administration in paying people after 5 weeks and then deducting £60 a month off of people. So perhaps that, because it seems to me a false economy, that they're insisting on continuing the 5-week wait and then going back and deducting from people's claims. So, and a good friend of mine, Andrew Fawsey, who's the director of the Feeding Britain charity, Madam Deputy Speaker, which is involved with the Three Hills Community Supermarket in Glasgow South West, was recently quoted as saying, "Last year, figures like these prompted the Department of Work and Pensions to lower the cap on deductions and double the length of time people had to repay these upfront loans. What these latest figures show is that there remains a lot of work to be done to bring these deductions down still further if people are to have money they need each month to put food on the table." Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the chair of the Select Committee had mentioned no recourse to public funds, and I agree with him, and I hope that the Department will look seriously once again at the Select Committee's report recommending extending child benefit to all children irrespective of their parents' immigration status. Again, it was laid out very well by the chair of the Select Committee, and as someone who represents a city which has signed up to the Home Office's asylum seeker dispersal scheme, this is a very real issue in areas where we've had asylum seekers who've then become refugees. And it was certainly an issue during COVID, and I hope that the department will go back and look at that. I think that we need more resources going into ensuring that those who are entitled to pension credit receive that pension credit. We reckon it's between 65 to 70%, Madam Deputy Speaker, of people who are entitled to pension credit who are receiving that pension credit. And I would like to see some more work being done by the Department of Work and Pensions on this particular issue, and more resources going into ensuring and working with pensioners groups, working with various third sector organisations to ensure that those who are entitled to pension credit are getting that pension credit, because it seems to me that that's a very real issue. And some of the statistics we've seen from the Independent Age Charity about the amount of unpaid claims for pension credit is far too high. It's in the millions, and frankly would do a lot of good for pensioners dealing with increasing food and fuel costs. And lastly, Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to raise again my concern, and I know that you have a constituency interest in this, and that's the issue of office closures in the Department of Work and Pensions, where we have government offices in areas of high economic deprivation, sometimes in some cases one of the largest employers in some constituencies, and the Department of Work and Pensions wants to close these offices. Now, that won't just impact on people who are employed with the Department of Work and Pensions, of course it will, but it will have a wider effect in the economy. And one of the wider effects it will have in the economy is that many small businesses round about these offices rely on the custom from people who work in these government departments. And I would refer the Minister to my colleague for Glasgow North East, who has done a survey on this due to the Springburn, the proposed Springburn closure. There does seem it does seem that the Department of Work and Pensions wants to take, I would say, far too many people out of the 91,000 the government wants to, the 91,000 jobs which the government want to cut. It would seem to me that the government department responsible for employment, helping people get into work, really shouldn't be laying off its own workers. It completely sends the completely wrong message that a government department responsible for employment is throwing people into unemployment. That would make no sense whatsoever. And I'll leave it there, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I'm sure I'll get a positive response to all the points I've raised from the Minister. Thank you.